you know, so be it then. If you're not gonna wait, you don't have to wait. I thought
We
that
are
I'd
live
cleaned it up.
again. Hello. I gotta say, I really
See,
do like the combat map. It is good stuff.
it is. It makes things pretty fun, pretty cool. Um, why do I have that way? Because I have to do that.
Mhm.
There we go. Aha! Fun times. Welcome back, everybody.
I waved, but you couldn't see me. Hi.
You're waving. Well, it doesn't really help if you're not on camera, which you're not anymore because this is the second part where we're not on camera, and that's okay. So,
When I'm on camera, I don't have to wear pants. When I'm not on camera, I don't even have to wear a shirt. It's great.
isn't that nice? It's like things that you don't even realize that you miss until you realize you have to actually miss it. Like, oh yeah, right. So, Ava, let's start off with just kind of like a quick recap of what has happened so far.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely know. So, like, don't worry about that.
I'm not worried about it because I know you know.
Yeah, so we initially went to meet Elaine Rivers.
Mhm.
Okay. We initially went to meet Elaine Rivers and found that she was out of the office for the day, as it were. So we decided to come back the following day. We did so, and decided to enter a sort of, fighting pit or tournament of sorts to earn our place in the city. Essentially, we needed to prove that we were valuable in some way before we would be allowed into the middle ring. We decided to fight together. We decided to there was no second part to that. We decided to fight together instead of like individual challenges. And when we went in, we saw 3 other combatants waiting for us. It was 2 half elves and an elf.
Correct.
Okay. Don't ask me the names. I don't know the names. But I'm terrible at names in real life. And
It's
these names
okay.
are
I
weirder.
totally pulled them up randomly, and they are very weird names, and I have to like go back to my notes to kind of remember what they are too. So good.
It's like someone spilled a bowl of SpaghettiOs.
Yeah.
Anyway, when we saw that there were 3 people, Daisy was immediately like, absolutely not. And offered them 5 gold to fight with us. All 3 of them agreed to her terms, which she was not expecting, and nor was I. But I am 15 gold poorer, and the 5 of us were to take on a construct of some kind that was animated strictly for a fight.
It was animated armor, so there you go.
Okay. It was difficult to tell exactly what it was from the overhead position, so I wasn't 100% on that. In any case, yes, the animated armor. One of the NPC half-elves did go down. I think it was then. I don't know if it was the elf, but it was one of
The
them.
elf that went down, actually.
Okay.
Yep.
Went down during the fight because something about him kept drawing attention from the animated armor. But through our repeated efforts, we did manage to take it out. I don't remember who got the final blow.
I would tell you who got the final blow, but I also don't remember, and I like advanced things practicing with things earlier today. I feel like maybe it was Tom who got the final blow.
It sounds apropos.
Feasible.
Hey, he's not here to argue. We'll give him credit.
We'll just tell us you got it, dude. You did it.
You did it. Yay.
Woo!
Yeah, so we got the final blow, and we are here yet to understand the aftermath of our battle. Yeah, that's where we are.
That's a good place to kind of pick up because we do have an aftermath in this battle. It's exciting.
Indeed. I hope so.
Yeah.
I like exciting.
Everything is like super loud, so I'm going to mute my tab. Should probably figure out how to like shift the music there next time. We'll get that. As the animated armor actually falls, you feel this like stunned silence. And while you're work into like an almost empty crowd, there are still a few influential people here. People who are specifically invited in by Elaine to watch. A couple other just kind of like interested people who were curious about what was going on, but might not necessarily have the funds to necessarily like hire you as well. We're also kind of in attendance, but very sporadic small groups. The silence is just absolutely stunned. Partially that you managed to come together and collaborate, cooperate, and make it happen. Partially because you were able to take down this animated armor that had actively taken out, like focused on and actively taken out the elven ranger. I think I took out the ranger. Let me check.
It's the one that's immediately in front of it, so I think so.
Yeah, the ranger, taking out the ranger. As you just kind of hear, you don't really hear it, but you almost feel like it. You can hear. I say hear, and it's not actually a sound, but the smile kind of spreading on Elaine's face is almost audible. Like you just know that she's beaming from ear to ear as she stands up and she claps her hands, 2 golf claps, just clap, clap, clap. And around there's like sporadic applause as other people are taking notice and kind of coming out of their stunned silence. Like, okay.
Wow.
Well,
Didn't know they
then.
still did the slow clap here. Neat.
Well, it is something that we don't see every day. We have noticed, we have all here borne witness to the fact that these adventurers, these champions in the making, have defeated our first challenge. They worked together to do so, which is also an unprecedented thing, and it's absolutely remarkable to see. These people here have the ability to do much. They can coordinate. They can persuade. They can also work together with people they've never met. All valuable traits.
Yep, I'm a real prize.
Indeed. As she is speaking, however, Tom shakes. He kind of goes a little bit wavy. And in the next moment, he blanks out and falls to the ground.
Have I seen him do this before? Since we were traveling together.
I would imagine that in the time that you have traveled together, you have noticed this happen a few times. It's not a regular occurrence, but it's not an unfamiliar one either. It is one that, he'll be fine, but you also know that he's basically not with us today. He's got to be carried out, he's got to be taken care of, he's got to be watched over.
Okay. I look to the one that isn't the ranger and isn't the spellcaster. I haven't remembered what's his name. Barrow?
So you have Barrow, which is the bard.
Okay.
You have Cephras,
right,
which is the
bard.
warlock. And then Quillith, the ranger.
Heck. Okay. She just looks at all 3 of them. Will you help me get him out of here? I gotta get back to the inn.
Quilla sort of shakes as she slowly kind of stands up from her prone position. She's also not in the best of health at the moment. But she nods to the other 2 who leave her side and go over to kind of help steady Tom, bring him to his feet, and help take him back to the Longing Turnip.
Thank
Elaine, as you all leave this area, Elaine just kind of is busy. She looks like she's fielding a bunch of questions from a bunch of prospective employers, people who might be willing to maybe work with you in the future, which would be kind of cool. And she just kind of like nods to you, and you get a kind of mental ping, Daisy.
A mental ping, indeed.
And the mental ping is basically like, I'll be in touch. Stay in the city.
Yes, ma'am.
And so you're wanting to head back to the inn.
Yes. This will be quite a
Alright.
walk through town, I'm sure.
It is quite a walk through town, actually, because you're walking through town. You're already just kind of a ragtag crew, but you also have a couple half elves and an elf that is walking around with you now. So it
Yeah.
makes it a little bit more interesting.
Walking fast, faces pass, and I'm homebound, you know?
No. Just no.
Okay, sorry. A little sorry. Not that sorry, though.
Not that sorry, I don't think. Yeah. I'll eventually need to get Rain Shores in here because we're coming back to it more often than I had planned to. But that's fine. But as you
Sorry.
make your way, yeah, it's not your fault. It's my fault for not having the art ready. It's just taken a while. So as you guys are making your way through the town, faces pass. No, you did it to me. You did it. Your fault. Ah, I'm stuck in my head now. Blame you. Absolutely blaming you. Rainshore meets you at the door, and you can smell the stew. It's a pretty nice stew that he has prepared today, but most of his food is pretty fantastic. He notes that you are traveling with 3 new people, 2 of which are actively holding up Tom. The elf has pulled their hood over their head pretty tightly, trying to seem maybe to hide their appearance.
Daisy just kind of tilts her head and looks at him quizzically, and then just looks back at Rainshore. Can you, can you help him get up to his room, please? I'm so sorry.
Oh, yeah, of course I can. Sure. Hold on. He puts his dish tag or dish rag down and goes over to kind of like support Tom, heading him or taking him back up to the room.
As after he walks away, to the one hiding his face, just what's up with the hiding?
The one that's hidden, Quillith, just kind of keeps her head down in a very soft voice. I didn't really wish to be seen here. It's nothing personal, it's just a matter of familial pride, I suppose.
If it makes you feel any better, he's got a sister that's around sometimes, and she's a full elf.
Roll insight.
Yeah. I'm good at those. I'm so good at insight. I'm so insightful. With a 4.
That's a 4.
I'm gonna spend DM inspiration.
You just do it
Watch it be 3.
with 5.
7.
Oh, it's almost twice as good. You know, there's
I
progress.
swear I have never once rolled well on the second roll when I do that. I don't know why.
But you always roll better. And that's also an important thing that we need to like reiterate every time that we play these games. Doesn't really matter how well you roll, because half of the fun sometimes is failing.
Oh, I know.
And coming back from those failures. And just like, I know you know, but I don't know that everybody knows. So I mention this so that other people who are listening can recognize it's okay to fail.
Right.
Half of the story is how do you come back from the failure?
Well,
What
and
happens then?
my spiel in the last section too was partially related, and just the idea that success and failure are not a binary.
Oh no.
There are degrees of success, there are degrees of failure. It's not as simple as pass fail.
It's when you talk about the binary system, that's exactly right. It's not exactly like you did good, you did bad, you did good, you did bad. There are so many different shades of success that you can hit. That being said, you didn't quite hit the shade of success you were looking for this time.
There are shades of success, and you
there are-
don't see any of them, actually.
Yes. They are not currently on your spectrum. They are somewhere else, but there are shades of success. As Daisy just kind of like mentions that there's like a full elf that walks in, you just see Quillith, the elven ranger, just kind of like sink back into her robes, hand going up to her forehead, and just kind of like, great.
Here, here's what she looks like, and I will not acknowledge, not knowing a thing about what's actually going on.
Right.
I use minor illusion. I'm double checking the size. I know silent image. Oh wait, it says 5 feet cube. Okay. Yeah, just a full size, unless she's taller than 5 feet. Version of Amethyst. Do you know each other? Is she like an ex or something?
Let me see if I can pull that up real quick for fun. I need to get her full image in there. Why don't I have that?
I kind of like
I
the
need
circle
to.
though.
I mean, the circle makes things kind of fun, but it's not quite the same as having like her full art there because she's got some nice full art. As Krillith takes a look at your minor illusion, she just kind of, you can tell that she groans. She kind of pales a little bit more, like, oh god, it's Amethyst.
You do know each other. I was
yeah,
right.
No, not so much, but we do. Let's just say that my family once ran in similar circles that some of her family did. She's not exactly the nicest person, in my opinion.
Oh no, yeah, no, she's terrible. That's why I screw with her. I made her see a rat the other day, or yesterday. Time is weird. Anyway, yeah, no, I made her see a rat and she screamed. It was great. Might have cracked a glass though.
Quilla just kind of half smiles at that, saying like, well, I would feel like if anybody deserves to see true vermin, that would be someone who truly does, for sure. She
Do you
sits
know
back.
do you know where to get some true vermin?
I would hope not. I mean, my parents might think I do, but they're kind of in that same realm that she's in.
Right.
And she sits back in her chair.
I really gotta
Sighing.
find some like non-curse words. Because there are things I want to say that I'm obviously not saying, and I'm just like
That's such a fluffin' mistake.
Anyway, yes, I'm sorry. What were you saying?
So basically, Rainshore has taken Tom back up to his room. Quillith is kind of leaning back in her chair, slumped over in what you can basically say is just kind of like almost a defeated posture of like, great, I'm being seen. Like, this is my walk of shame type of thing. I'm being seen in a place I don't really want to be seen here. Somebody who knows my family is probably going to know that I was here. I'm being surrounded, like, I've got my friends next to me, but she definitely feels a little bit defeated at this moment.
Right. Here, when Ranger comes back down, I'm gonna go over to him just, hey, what kinds of alcohol do you have that I could have for about a gold?
Gold, we've got a few varieties of ales, lots of it, honestly. For a gold, we can get you something nice, or we can get you a lot of something not so nice.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry. My stomach decided to rebel spontaneously. Something middling that could go between 4 people?
He just kind of looks around, thinking like, I think I might have an idea. I'll be right back.
Bonus points if it's sweet.
Do you have a specific type of flavor profile in mind?
No, not at all. Just something sweet,
All right.
ideally.
Roll me a d20.
As you wish. That's a 6.
That's a 6. So, feeling the same, like understanding where you're kind of going from, right? It's an easy, an easy booze that he brings back. It has a very fragrant vanilla flavor to it, and just that good aroma as well. He pours out a bit of it. You can tell that it's nice and sweet. It's got almost a creamy scent to it. Very calming, even. This is called the Vanilla Parody. Enjoy.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Um, did he give me cups too?
Of course, he brought you cups.
Okay. Just checking.
He's not amethyst.
um, so I go back to the table with it. I spent my last gold on this, and I pour out for everyone at the table. Here, this is on me. Next one's got to be on you though, because I'm out of gold. But here, and I'll pour some for everyone. Pass them out.
Quillith takes her cup and just kind of holds it beneath her nose, taking a deep breath, the way one might do if they have like hot chocolate or coffee or something before enjoying their first sip. You kind of see that the smile on her lips grows a little bit, like, I remember times when we would have this out in the picnic area. Good times, good memories.
Yeah. So, if you're not supposed to be down here, why are you down here?
Well, and she kind of winces a little bit at that thought. Quick perception check while you're at it.
Yeah. Give me just a moment here. Perception, where is it? I know to read. That's a 5.
Yeah, okay, you are so focused on the story, you are so focused on your drink that you don't really notice anything else around you. Quillith, however, just kind of looks at her two companions. I was like, well, suffice it to say, it was a journey of maybe self-discovery and forging unlikely friendships. There was one day when I was wandering around in the Middle Ring doing some shopping. I encountered a group of people who were facing, let's just call it what it is, discrimination. Various types of injustice due to their race. The struggles that they had did not seem fair. They just resonated with me deeply. I felt that I couldn't actually stand idly by and watch what was happening as people were thrown out of their homes. That didn't sit well with my family.
Yeah, that tracks. People in power don't want to give up the power when the power is the problem.
Indeed. I followed my new friends around. I helped them get new lodgings. I helped them even purchase a shop. It didn't quite make it to the Middle Ring. Well, we tried. We tried first, but we were kicked out unceremoniously, and suffice it to say that my actions challenged the prejudices of my family and the rest of the elite. They disowned me. They severed all ties with me, just cast me aside.
Do you want to get back
I
at him?
don't regret my choices. No, I will. The cost of staying silent in the face of injustice is far greater than the pain of rejection.
No. I mean revenge. Do you want to get back at them?
I'm not entirely sure that revenge is necessarily the path I want to take, but I do wish to challenge that mindset. Our society should not be so oppressive. I want to be able to prove unity, cooperation among other races, acceptance. Altogether, this can bring around true strength and true progress. If we work together, we can build a world where prejudice holds no power. I feel like ultimately that would be what I would like to leave. That would like to be my legacy.
It's a noble goal. I haven't known too many, like, noble people. That's weird. Sorry.
Well, as you
No.
said before, when you have the power, it's hard to give it up. Even when it means crushing other people by the neck.
Some people even enjoy that.
Which is also both frustrating and unfortunate.
Those are the ones that are most fun to screw with, though. They're so high and mighty, and they think so highly of themselves that they just, like... Watching them fall is probably the most fun thing ever. You know, there's a whole section of the Feywild that I'm banned from.
She kind of laughs at that. Would not be surprised. That being said, that sort of turnabout, that desire, doesn't tend to make things better.
No.
It just turns the page and gives them reason to retaliate. Then you want to retaliate. Then they want to retaliate. Somebody has to break the cycle.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but at the same time, they're going to think what they want to think regardless. It doesn't matter how much evidence there is to the contrary. They just...
I'm not entirely sure that I believe that.
Bigotry doesn't make sense. So there's not... I don't know that it's possible to make sense of bigotry. You know what I mean?
Bigotry is taught, and it can be untaught, or at least educated from.
Perhaps. I don't know. I don't know that that's really my purview, though. More action-oriented, I think.
I've come to see that, but at the same time, your actions speak a bit louder than your words do sometimes. I saw your actions at play back at the arena. You could have just taken us on.
She just smiles broadly. Sure, but I didn't want to. There were more of you than us, and, like, I don't know. Honestly, and she sort of, like, leans in. I didn't expect all three of you to jump at it. I thought I was going to get, like, one, and then you were going to fight each other, and it was going to be a whole thing. I was just trying to even the sides, you know?
She just kind of chuckles a little bit, like, well, that was definitely a gambit that you took then. Quite frankly, you'd either get one or all of us. Oh, sorry, you'd get none or all of us. For words are hard sometimes. You'd either get none of us or all of us. We come as a set.
This liquor's starting to get to you, is it?
Apparently so. It's a little stronger than I recall.
Yeah, sometimes the she air quotes here, bad stuff is actually good because they don't get so hung up on what other people expect. But it's cool that you guys are so loyal to each other. That's neat. I've been traveling with Tom for a while, but I don't know that he'd stick around like that. I don't know that he wouldn't, but, like, I don't know. It hasn't been tested, you know what I mean?
Well, what makes you think that he wouldn't?
It's not that I think he wouldn't. It's that I don't have any proof that he would. And I've seen so many different ways that this can go. I am... Every possible sort of direction is familiar. And I don't know if you're aware of this, but a lot of things could end very badly all the time. And it's hard not to think about that sometimes, you know what I mean?
She pauses for a second, thinking about what you just said. A lot of things can very easily go badly. Very quickly. Are you a seer?
More like I am shown things. And she sort
You'll
of like
have to explain that a little bit more.
slumps into her chair. It's not something I do. It's just it happens to me. Does that make sense? It just of course it doesn't make sense. I don't get to be a diviner. I don't get to like try to see things. I just see them anyway. Which is why I try so hard not to care, because like it's a lot, and it's always a lot. And okay, so imagine if, as vivid as a dream, every single time you were about to make any decision, you saw every single way it could go. You reach for a bagel in the morning, and all of a sudden you're picturing yourself choking on the bagel 3 minutes later. Or a stale piece of bread that you didn't choose knocks over a cart later somehow. It snowballs, and it's just all the time I just see the way things could go. Like there was a strong chance that if you guys hadn't taken me up on my offer, y'all would have just, just absolutely beat us. Because there are 3 of you and you work together longer. And like you said, it was a gambit, but like if it had gone poorly, it could have gone really poorly. And that was just something I had to try and see, you know what I mean?
She kind of swirls the vanilla parody in her cup
Vanilla
and
parody.
Glances.
I knew it was vanilla something with a P, and I was just like...
Vanilla what? Vanilla pudding? Vanilla what? Parody. Vanilla parody.
Parody like a joke, or parody like the fruit, pear?
That'd be kind of a fun, like if it was like a pair of, like, pear and vanilla. It's like that, an interesting taste. I could see that being a thing here at the not the Feywild, the not Feywild here. But parody as in kind of like not real is the actual spelling of it.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Like it's fake, it's not real, it's not entirely there, it's fine. But she kind of looks into the cup, and she gives you a pretty stern stare. Did you see in any of those possible futures us not working together?
Oh yeah, loads of them. It was a literal roll of the dice. Sorry. I didn't originally intend to fourth wall break, and then it just... Anyway, sorry. Yeah. It's not so much that I think you wouldn't in another setting. It's that there was a purpose for why we were there. I didn't see the armor thing coming, though. That was a surprise. So, but it could have gone poorly. It's possible that the 5 gold wouldn't have been enough, or that your guys' drive to win the thing would have been stronger than the money, or...
I'm not entirely sure if I asked my question in a proper way. Were there possibilities that you only got one of us?
And she sort of gazes into the cup for a second. One of her hands goes to the like pocket of her robe, and she kind of just turns the 8-ball in her hand in thought for a second. I don't think so. Honestly, sometimes I deliberately do the things I don't see in the hopes that they work. Because, I don't know, I'm stubborn like that. I don't like to be told what to do. So, even if I'm being told what to do by the fates themselves, I like to just, ignore them and do my own thing. Anyway, um,
Does that often work out for you?
I mean, it worked out this time, sorta.
That it did,
I'm not
but you
dead.
didn't even. Also true. But you also did not know at the time that we were a packaged deal, that you would either get all of us or none of us.
That's true. But, I mean, I figured either I just lose some coin, and coin's easy to come by, especially if you don't care about crime. But either I lost some coin or I won the fight. And, or, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. She sort of stares off for a second, twisting words in her head. Either I lost a few coins to win the fight, or I lost the fight, and I thought it was worth taking a chance.
Interesting. And she just kind of looks at you for a second. And that smile is just ever present on her lips. It would be good to know whether your friend is loyal.
I feel like loyalty is one of those things you kind of have to test to know. You know what I mean? Like, people say whatever, and they think whatever. And maybe he even does think that he's as loyal as a really good dog or something. But I don't know, from what I've seen, you don't know until you know. It has to be pushed. It has to be stress tested.
I suppose that might be why I've asked you what you saw. That was sort of a stress test. Though we were there partially to prove that our own mettle, to be able to get back into the middle ring. See if there was a possibility in any way, in any shape, that we could get everything back.
That's a good question. We never really codified if this is a thing. Does... What am I trying to say? Could I sort of reach for the magical potential, where the wild magic comes from, and sort of see if there's anything that suggests that they'll get back? If I'm not asking for an outright vision or anything like that, but like, what's the vibe? Can I vibe check fate?
Let's vibe check fate. Why not? We're just gonna do this with our typical BS roll. Just roll me a D100.
Yeah, absolutely. Thought you were gonna ask me to roll an insight against destiny.
That's basically your D100. Insight
It's
against
a
destiny.
70.
It's a 70? Alright. You sit. You kind of stare into your cup. Your 8-ball is sitting there in your lap. But at the same time, you're not really focused on it. You almost seem... You know how there's types of fortunes that can be done with like tea leaves, and then you also have like a whole bunch of like coffee barista people who can make super little designs in coffee.
Yeah.
Make it like really cute. You're trying to almost figure out how you can combine that. Can you see anything in your cup? Are you able to pull out a message from the cream of the vanilla parody? Does the swirls turn into something that you can recognize? And as you're getting the vibe check, you feel like they want a specific question.
Okay. So staring into the abyss of my alcohol.
Yes.
Oh, what a fun sentence. In Primordial, I don't know if any of the three speak it, but in Primordial, just I'm sorry, just to double check. She wanted to know if she could get back into the middle ring.
She wanted to know whether or not she and her compatriots, which you have yet to notice apparently with all of your wonderful perception checks, um, like that's where those rolls are coming from. It's like, what are you noticing her friends doing? Um, they're currently just kind of vibing out, being quiet apparently. Um, but she's curious to know whether or not they'll be able to get back into the middle ring, whether they'll be able to get their shop that they had tried to get into the middle ring before they got unceremoniously booted, if they could have earned their medal to get back in there.
Okay. So in Primordial, just sort of swirling the thing, um, Daisy dips a pinky finger in it, just like her little rabbit claw, and just traces through the foam, and just like the froth of the beverage, and just, will they get back to, will they, sorry, will these three people be able to build their shop together in the middle ring?
You see the swirls in your drink swirl on their own. And they make your swirls turning into little squiggles. And as you retract your claw, you see a message slowly but very carefully show in the liquid. And the message itself is a very simple in time.
Okay. So, best I can tell, yeah. It might take a long time and it might hurt like hell getting there, but yeah, you should be able to, I believe that you can build the life you're looking for together.
And she just kind of smiles at that. Well, things that we elves have plenty of is time. We can
Yeah.
be patient.
You
We can
know,
move forward from there.
I don't know how much time I have. Do I live as long as a rabbit? Hold
Roll me
on.
a D100.
This is important.
Roll me a D100.
I actually don't know anything about Haringan aging. I
Roll
I
a
just think
D100.
I did. It was an 89.
That's fantastic. Do I live as long as a rabbit?
I don't know how long rabbits live either. I was like, wait a minute.
So, Harangon, you see the foam in your cup just kind of shake.
I
And
think my beverage is calling me stupid.
it's almost like it's laughing at you itself. And as it shakes, you can kind of see it almost going through an animated bit where you can see a timeline. And you see a timeline of like 5 years growth, 10 years growth, 20 years growth, 50 years growth. And around the 100 years growth, you see that you reach it, and then it kind of tapers off.
Okay. Cool. I probably have tortoise life. I should live about 100 maybe. Until I took off someone who finally does me in probably. Anyway, sorry. What were you saying?
She just kind of looks at you for a moment. This entire ordeal, she's been kind of just looking at you quizzically, trying to just figure out what she should even say, how she should say anything, what's going on.
I think as they sort of make that eye contact and she's still quizzically like staring. One of Daisy's eyes just slowly drifts off to the side.
Just like a little lazy eye going on.
Yeah.
Like, "Doop." Okay. She keeps focus on the eye that stays focused on her. Still quizzical. Still curious. And taps her fingers against her chin. I've heard stories about rabbits and tortoises. Interesting stories. Have you heard about the race?
That's a good question. I'm gonna roll a history check just for fun. Sorry, you're the DM, I know, but this is
Yeah,
sort of
you can
more
absolutely roll your own
background
checks for
knowledge.
your own purposes. If it's something that I would determine that you would or would not know, I'll let you roll for that. But if you want to determine whether or not you know something based off of what you think you might know, but like player knowledge, feel free to roll for that.
Yeah. 17. I feel like she does know it. Yeah, the one about taking a race slow and stuff.
That one, yes.
What about it?
Have you learned anything from it?
No. I never learn anything on purpose, really.
Why not?
I don't want to. Other people want me to. Other people want me to learn, and I don't want to do what other people want me to do. I want to do what I want to do.
I'm not entirely sure. And I realize that saying this falls into that trap. But I'm not entirely sure if that is necessarily the best way to live life.
Oh, probably not. But yeah. I don't want to. I don't want to do what the fates decide. And I don't know, it just kind of veers into other stuff too.
I understand your fear of being controlled. I had similar fears myself. Part of being disowned and kind of building up from there again comes from that. There's nothing wrong with a little bit of rebellion. But I do think it's wise to know when to pick your battles.
When to spend a few gold to make them go away.
Indeed. And she raises her glass, just kind of nodding. And whether you chose to learn that or not, I feel like somewhere inside you did.
Maybe. She just kind of like awkwardly trails off for a second, and then looks directly at the other two. So, what's their story? What's your story?
And so she's looking now at the other two. Gotta remember their names now. Like, why would you do this, Barrow? And
They're your NPCs. You could have had two of them walk
details.
away. You could have done that. You didn't do
I
that.
could have, but I didn't. Little things like that, like, oh yeah, totally, they walked away while you weren't looking.
To be fair, I'm not looking most of the time.
They always walk away. It's just kind of what they do. Give me just a second. My brain is just a little bit of Swiss cheese at the moment.
Oh, at least yours is solid. I'm pretty sure I'm pudding. When I roll my head side to side, I hear it slosh around. That's normal,
So
right?
There you go. You got Barrow and you got Zephyrus. There we go. So the bard here, as everyone's talking, has pulled out his lute and just kind of strumming it, providing a little bit of like background music to the conversation that you're having, while the warlock is just kind of sitting in the corner, brooding over his cup very, very closely. Neither saying much, mostly just listening. The bard gives you kind of like a side eye and says, well, honestly, what we wanted to do is we wanted to go start a magic shop, but a magic shop that people could afford.
It's a good goal. I like magic.
And
How'd you
then
guys meet?
you see Sephiroth just kind of nodding. And then as you ask how they met, uh, they kind of exchange glances. And Quillith, again, just kind of like speaks up. They were in the Middle Ring, doing their best to gather the permits that they needed in order to try to open a shop. I was there doing some shopping. I forget exactly what for. I'm not entirely sure that it's terribly relevant at this point. For all intents and purposes, I believe that your permits were mostly in order until they realized what you were going to be selling. Is that correct? Honestly, it sounds about right. I'm not entirely sure. Things were going pretty well. We had a nice little shop. They didn't necessarily check our papers to realize that we weren't full-blooded elves initially. We were able to pass. Helped a bit. But once we made it known that our purpose was to try to spread magic to everybody, that's when the questions began. Quillith here, she came up, noted it. He looks to Sephiroth again. Sephiroth actually took a hostage for a short period of time. It didn't. It was not the smartest move that we necessarily made, but you know, it was a move nonetheless. One that we.
I admire the boldness.
It is one that we deeply, deeply came to regret.
Can I insight check Zephyrus to see if she?
I think Sephiroth is a they.
I have no earthly clue.
I know you don't. I'm just kind of like not remembering my own characters. I think Sephiroth is a they.
Okay. Can I insight check Zephyrus to see if they look like they regret it?
Feel free.
That's 5. I don't know nothing.
Oh, Daisy, Daisy, Daisy.
I'm sorry that I am not observant enough to notice plot.
It's amusing, but it makes it a little bit more difficult when you're the only one here. Like, okay, cool.
In hindsight, I could have planned this better.
Maybe, but
I think when I was originally creating Daisy, I wasn't fully aware of the solo adventure. I would have made different choices if I was.
And that's totally fair, totally fine. You can't read Sephiroth. Sephiroth is just kind of sitting there staring into their tea. They don't seem to have moved. You can't read them one way or another.
Okay. So
Barrow just kind of continues on. Honestly, though, I thought it was quite amusing.
Do you regret it because it didn't work, or do you regret it because you think it was the wrong thing to do?
Little column A, little column B.
I knew it.
I mean, when something doesn't work, that's the first indication that maybe something's not going right. And when you have time to sit back and think on things, and think about what you could have done differently, and what could have possibly gotten you closer to your goals instead of further away from them, it makes you regret some of your poor choices a little bit more.
I suppose that's a good point. Well, what are you guys gonna do next? I think our plan is just to try to get some work in the Middle Ring.
Our honest hope is to possibly still earn our way to the Middle Ring and be able to open that shop. We went to the arena with that purpose in mind, that if we could prove ourselves the victors, prove ourselves worthy, that we could earn land there, get our shop back. Not entirely sure if it was complicated by the fact that, while we all won, not all of us seem to have had the same challenge. So I suppose we'll see whether or not we're able to make that jump.
You say you need to earn your way back. Is there like a gold count on that, or is it just metaphorically you have to prove you're worthy?
It's a little bit of both, I suppose. If you have the coin, you can go anywhere. Everywhere that you go is going to require a decent amount of coin, and as long as you have the coin, people will welcome you.
Yeah, but
And
I
the
ask because, like, if you're not worthy, what the hell does that mean? And, like, isn't that something that they could just, like, keep deciding you're not worthy if they want to?
that is something that's definitely worth looking at when the gold runs out.
Why do you have to be in the middle ring to make a magic shop? Couldn't you do one down here?
Oh, they'd never allow it down here.
Why are you so against breaking the law? What are they going to
She
do?
just
Put you in the
kinda-
lower ring?
I'm already here. But the fact of the matter still remains that components are pricey.
Right, but,
A
like,
a magic shop in the middle ring could reach both the lower ring and the upper ring, and we could have the upper ring subsidize purchases so that those in the lower ring would be able to get to it. But if we opened a shop here in the lower ring, no one from the upper ring would come.
right, but, like, don't they already have a bunch of other magic shops that cater to the upper ring? Plus, a lot of the lower ring people can't get into the middle ring, right? Like, I've been here for like a day, and that's pretty much the only thing I know, that I can't get into the middle ring. So, like, you wouldn't be able to serve lower ring people there. You'd only be able to serve middle and upper, which is the same thing that every other magic shop is doing. So, what would actually be different?
As you say this, let's see what your perception looks like now.
No, I'm not going to. No.
You refuse.
It can't always be bad, right?
You'd think that the dice
It
at
can
some point
always
will-
be bad.
Oh,
You know what? I'm
gosh.
gonna spend a luck point on this.
All right.
Nope, that's wrong. That's insight. Hold on. It's the same
I was gonna say
modifier,
that's
but
insight.
still.
That doesn't help.
Sure. I'm consistent. Not consistently very good, but I'm consistent.
I mean, that's not a terrible roll for level 1, though. To be quite frank, a 10 is perfectly fine. And you just kind of hear, as you are asking these questions and as you're making these conversations, a very soft whisper coming from Sephirus, saying only one word. Marigolds. And there, we're going to wrap up the session for today.
What? Oh, it has been an hour. I forgot
I
this
know,
one doesn't
right?
necessarily end at the hour. So I was like, we still got like 10, 15 minutes. Cool. All right.
No, we're
What's time?
reaching the end. Time is weird.
Time is nonsense.
It's like, and it does give us the opportunity to have 10, 15 minutes additionally when we need it, but considering
Right.
that we ran over like 30 minutes last week, it's probably good to try to keep things more or less on track.
The fact that I get up at 5 a.m. is appreciative of not staying up
There.
late.
It's part of that too, to make sure that everybody can get going when we get going. So that being said, those of you watching us now and in the future, thank you. Feel free to catch us again. We are currently running on Mondays, 5 p.m. Pacific time. Or check out YouTube and stuff for past things. Hope
Yeah.
to see you soon.
Bye. See you next time.
Bye.